Don Van Natta, the ESPN investigative reporter, host of Backstory, and he is looking at the backstory of the decision. Airs Sunday night at 9 Eastern on ESPN, and Don joins us now. Don, thanks for joining us. Let me ask you what was more overcovered, Deflategate or the decision? Because you were involved in Deflategate as well.
That's a hard question to start with, Dan. I think they're probably on an equal footing. They certainly enraged different parts of the country in equal measure, right? New England was furious about my coverage of Deflategate and the decision. People in Cleveland will never forget it, despite LeBron coming back and winning a championship. But a good question. Both upset fan bases more than anything.
Do you know everything about Deflategate that you want to know?
Oh, no, there's always questions. As an investigative reporter, Dan, there's always new questions. There's always new information you can find out. I mean, we drew a through line, as you may remember, to Spygate. So much of what happened with Tom Brady in that 4-game suspension traces back to Spygate and the fact that Roger Goodell slapped the Patriots on the wrist in that scandal. And owners wanted this time with Deflategate for there to be an oversized punishment. And that's really what that was all about.
So if we didn't have Spygate, Tom Brady doesn't get suspended 4 games?
I don't think so. No, I don't. I mean, come on. It was such a silly scandal, those deflated footballs. But there were owners around, the most powerful owners in particular, like Jerry Jones, that really wanted the Patriots to pay. And Roger Goodell listens to the people like Rooney, Goodell, Hunt. Those guys really wanted the Patriots to pay for Deflategate and Tom Brady, and that's what happened.
If I gave you one question with a truthful answer coming from Tom Brady, what would you ask?
What would I ask Tom Brady? I would ask Tom Brady, how many games does he think he won based on Spygate? The Spygate scandal was far greater than we ever knew. Remember, Jeff Pash, the general counsel of the NFL, was provided by the Patriots only 3 or 4 Spygate tapes. That's all the Patriots said there was. And when he was given them in Foxborough, Jeff Pash crunched them under his wingtips and got rid of the evidence. In our story that I did back with Seth Wickersham that you're referring to, there was at least 40 games that the Patriots used spying techniques. So I would ask Tom Brady, how many games did you win? Did you win a Super Bowl based on information given to you through spying on opposing teams' signals?
I remember the last time the commissioner was on this show. That might have been how many years ago, Pauline? Like 7?
7 or 8.
7 or 8. And I said, why would you destroy tapes? He goes, well, there's no reason for them. And I'm thinking, okay. Like, it was such a strange answer that he was like, of course we destroy it. I don't know. Don't they have a storage bin where they keep all the things that, or NFL Films would want something like this?
Absolutely. And remember, the NFL took the word of the Patriots that this was the only evidence of this scandal. There was really no real investigation that was ever conducted of Spygate. It was wrapped up within a week. They just wanted it to go away. And this was only the first year of Roger Goodell's commissionership. And Bob Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, helped Goodell get his job. The whole thing stunk.
All right. The reason why we're having you on is backstory of the decision that airs this Sunday night at 9 Eastern. I'm looking at a quote here with Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade telling Rachel Nichols of ESPN, LeBron kind of went into his cave, went radio silent, kind of had to deal with his own process, but we were a little nervous on the other side, like, wait, are we still in this? Did Dwayne Wade know that LeBron was coming to Miami?
Sounds like a cover story, doesn't it, what Dwayne told Rachel Nichols? These guys had talked about playing together way back in 2006 when Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and LeBron James were teammates on the World Championships team, and again in 2008 when they were teammates on the Olympics team. They could have signed 5-year max deals. Instead, all 3 of them signed 3-year rookie extensions, which made them eligible for free agency in 2010. We looked into it, Dan. I can't prove unequivocally that that night when Dwayne Wade was tuning in, he really didn't know what LeBron was going to do. But the day before the decision, remember, Chris Bosh said, I'm going to play for the Miami Heat with Dwayne Wade. And a lot of insiders were like, all right, that's all the proof we need that tomorrow night on the decision, LeBron James is going to say, I'm going to Miami.
All right. What's the one thing that'll stand out more than anything else that you found out, the backstory of the decision?
Well, there's a lot of new information on our show, Dan, but one of the things that I so love about what we found out is the origin story. Jim Gray was the host, as you may remember, the veteran broadcaster. He had said it was his idea, that he raised it with Ari Emanuel, the Hollywood agent, and Maverick Carter in June of 2010 during the NBA Finals, Game 2 at halftime in LA. It turns out, actually, the idea was from a guy named Drew in Columbus, Ohio, in November 2009. He wrote a letter to Bill Simmons's mailbag column at ESPN.com and said, what if LeBron would announce his decision, his free agency decision, live on ABC? Bill Simmons responded in that column and said, great idea. LeBron should put it on pay-per-view. And then Bill Simmons took the idea, pitched it in February at the All-Star Weekend in Dallas to Maverick Carter, LeBron's business partner, Leon Rose, LeBron's agent, Worldwide West, LeBron's advisor at the time. Simmons also pitched it to ESPN executives. And for months, Simmons was trying to basically get this show done. And then sort of in a moment of serendipity, I guess, Maverick Carter, Ari Emanuel, and Jim Gray are at the All-Star game, or at the NBA Finals, I should say, and come up with this idea. So what really happened there and whose idea it was is really fascinating. But the other part of it, Dan, is just a revolution was going on that night. We saw a bad hour of TV, an awkward hour of TV. This was LeBron and Maverick Carter becoming producers, taking control of their own storytelling in a remarkable way, really, because you look at it now, 10 years later, the through line that you draw, and uninterrupted Spring Hill Entertainment just this week, just yesterday, Bloomberg reported $100 million is being raised for storytelling by Black artists through LeBron and Maverick's media company. And this was them. Look, it was probably a good idea, really badly executed. They made a lot of mistakes that night. It was some bad TV, but they were spreading their wings and trying this out. And now, arguably LeBron is the most influential and outspoken athlete in the country. And what he's doing with his storytelling through these various shows that he does and as an executive producer is really remarkable.
Who decided how long they were going to wait before LeBron made the decision?
Well, LeBron and Maverick Carter were the producers of the show, though I interviewed John Skipper, the former president of ESPN, who greenlit the show, and Vince Doria, the head of the news division of ESPN. They say the only way to hold an audience is to, kill some time. It's a 1-hour show. It wasn't until 9:28 Eastern that Jim Gray finally got around to asking, what's your decision? That's after 23 questions, by the way, Dan, including, are you a nail biter? And did you bring the powder? So there was a lot of time killing going on. I think ESPN partly had some motive there, but a lot of this was Maverick Carter and Jim Gray. They were really in control. The cameras got turned on. They belonged to ESPN, and the satellite uplink belonged to ESPN. But it was really Maverick Carter and Jim Gray calling the shots that night.
But did you talk to John Skipper and Vince Doria about their role because Jim Gray wasn't working for ESPN, so this is right. ESPN executives. Did they have any control over when Jim Gray was going to ask LeBron what's his decision?
Well, it's interesting. They had some, they say. They certainly understood what was going on. But no, really, they say this was a Maverick Carter production. Remember, ESPN was basically donated that hour, gave Maverick Carter and LeBron James that hour for free. So an hour of free television on ESPN was traded for an exclusive. And so, an old school journalist like me at the time, I was at the New York Times. I thought there's something wrong there. I don't like the way this looks. And but both Doria and Skipper, if you watch the show on Sunday night, they sort of justify it. They understand it from a TV perspective, why LeBron and Maverick and Jim Gray did what they did.
How do they keep it quiet? Like, how many people knew where LeBron was going?
Well, very few knew about it. And that was another interesting thing, right? You had these ESPN insiders like Chris Broussard tasked with trying to find out where LeBron was going. And if they did find out, they'd scoop their own network. And I asked Skipper about that and Doria about that as well. A very small circle of people knew. LeBron said that night in the chair that he didn't make the decision until that morning after he spoke with his mother. And he said that the number of people that knew the decision as he sat in the chair was, you could count it on one hand. Now, again, whether D. Wade and Chris Bosh and others, Pat Riley, the people in Miami knew more than that, they probably did, I would guess. and we delve into that a little bit. But how they kept it secret, it is pretty remarkable when you consider in this day and age how nothing that is ever known by anybody stays a secret for very long.
Did Jim Gray know?
I don't think Jim Gray knew. I really don't. There was very little preparation. One of the things we found out is LeBron was at his basketball camp that week in Akron. He didn't arrive in Greenwich until about 6 o'clock that night, just a few hours before the decision broadcast. People around LeBron told me he had no idea there were going to be so many questions. I mean, you see him in the chair. It's so awkward, but he also looks so uncomfortable, almost as if in the moment he's thinking, this is a bad idea. The other thing, Dan, we found out is that Leon Rose, LeBron's agent at the time, and Worldwide Wes both warned people around LeBron in his inner circle that this had the potential to backfire. They knew that he was not going to stay in Cleveland, and they knew if you announce, I'm leaving my hometown on national television with 10 million people watching, there was a lot of potential for an enormous backlash and undercutting your brand.
Why Greenwich, Connecticut for the announcement?
Okay, that's a very good question that I am almost certain this is the right answer. Keith Clinkscales, an executive at ESPN at the time and the liaison between the LeBron camp and the network, I believe picked Greenwich for its proximity to Bristol. Of course, I'm a long-suffering Knicks fan, so when I heard Greenwich, Connecticut, like a lot of Knicks fans, I thought, okay, it was like the mother of all head fakes, right? I mean, he's coming to New York, yes. But I think it really was that. But, the whole look of it, I heard you guys talking about it before the break. I mean, Greenwich, Connecticut, the criticism was even to the kids in the background. Critics said they were used as props. The Greenwich, Connecticut Boys and Girls Club, looks like a country club compared to a lot of the boys and girls clubs around the country. So even the backdrop just didn't work. Nothing worked that night.
What's the next story you want to dive into?
So we have already begun. We've done a lot of interviews, and we're really excited about our next backstory. It's the Manti Te'o catfishing scandal, and we're delving into that. We hope to have that done later this year. There's a lot of unanswered questions there. How much did Manti Te'o know? What did he know, and when did he know it, I guess, is what I'm trying to find out. I think viewers are going to be really surprised, and we'll enjoy that one.
Did he cooperate?
No, he hasn't yet. Still trying. But he knows we're on the hunt.
Did you interview his girlfriend?
You mean his fake dead girlfriend?
Yes.
No.
That'd be a great get. The fake dead girlfriend.
Sure. We're trying. We're speaking to her people, Dan. We're trying.
You're an investigative reporter. I love it.
That's right.
Don, thank you. We'll look forward to that on Sunday night.
Thank you, Dan. It's great to be with you.
Don Van Natta, ESPN investigative reporter and host of Backstory that comes out this Sunday night at 9 Eastern, The Decision.